if we step down issuance. So what are your thoughts on Treasury right now? Just a few minutes if you have any ideas.
Yeah, so one of the things that Parity will be more active on is developing out Treasury or governance level mechanisms, like on-chain mechanisms for Treasury management. I don't want to see the Treasury evaporate. I do want to see a much more disciplined spending mentality with clear criteria. And to this goal, to this aim, Web3 Foundation will be becoming active in Treasury voting. It's something that I've generally steered it away from as best I can on the basis that we want to allow the sort of decentralized elements of the ecosystem to sort of bloom and blossom and all the rest of it. But my feeling now is that we're at a point where we need strong direction for spending, and we need to become a lot more disciplined with the things that are really just opportunistic and of extremely unclear value proposition. And to this aim, I think the foundation's much more conservative view on spending is a much more strategic, increasingly strategic view on spending is going to be a big value add toward Polkadot. So I'm unleashing the voting keys, and we're going to be more active. We're going to be very active. And we're going to be opinionated. Sorry, but that's the way it is.
And you're going to be participating, like with feedback and whatnot as well. It won't just be a situation where people get struck down and don't know why. Like
absolutely,
yeah, because that's
absolutely. But I mean, it depends, right? So there's a lot of Treasury proposals, and there's a lot of crap out there. So the ones that are crap,
of course.
I mean, it's going to be a pretty terse response from me anyway. There's a board for spending, and I'll be on the board, right? So from my perspective, I don't have time to be wasting with this with commenting on very basic procedural elements or very basic mindset elements. So it's going to be terse, but we will put out our spending criteria. It's something that I've actually been working on over the past few months with Poker World, trying to on a back and forth of like, what is it that I personally think is strategically sensible to be spending Polkadot treasury funds on. And I think that's getting to a pretty well, from my perspective, a pretty well concrete position. The foundation won't necessarily take exactly that position, but to the extent that it's influenced by me within this sort of spending committee, then that will be its position, or that will be a component of its position.
Someone in the comments right now is saying, finally, W3F has to take responsibility for its bags and vote. Looks like people have been calling for this sort of direction.
Yeah, well, it's happening.
Very good. People are pumped about this. This is good.
As I said, this is going to be a sort of a back to the roots thing. So this is sort of just to dovetail it back to what we were bringing up at the beginning.
Yeah.
We're not going to be putting our fucking brand on Adidas trainers, right? This is not what I mean by strategic spends. I mean, we will identify products that we think are opportune, have the potential to deliver substantial value into the DOT token directly, not through third parties. We will develop those products, and to the degree that we need strategic spending, we will deploy capital. That capital will come in part from the foundation and in part from the treasury. To the extent that we want to get DOT or Polkadot specifically out there to the mass market, I will not be afraid of deploying capital of the foundation and the voting power of the foundation. We are developing a cutting-edge proof-of-personhood system that is perfect for mass airdrops that are meaningful to large amounts of people, and we will be using these funds for getting eyes on Polkadot in the most Web3 manner that we can.